Yo! What's poppin', fam? It's your boy Tsunami D, and welcome back to my channel. Before we get started with this video, if you are new here, welcome. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when I post a new video. Because if you love me, then why wouldn't you want to know when I post a new video? Exactly. Today, we're going to talk about the first time that I ever tried weed and why I stopped smoking weed. All right, so boom. The first time I ever smoked, I was 15. And I felt it, but I didn't like it. It didn't do what everybody explained that it was going to do, you know? So I tried it and I didn't like it. And then I didn't do it again till I was like maybe, I want to say like 17. And it was the same thing. People peer pressured me into smoking. And I was like, hi, yeah, sure, I'll try it, whatever. And I didn't like it. I really just, it wasn't for me. And I gave up trying to like weed to impress people. And then one day I was maybe like, I believe I was like 18 or 19. And I worked at Burger King. It was one of my first jobs. And I worked with my best friend, Ashley, and her friend, Shamara. And they were avid smokers, so I was always around it, and I was just like, I tried it, I didn't really like it, blase, 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 blah, blah, blah. But this day, we all got off work early, and I was like, you know what? It's nice out. Let me try to do this again. And I did. We got out of work early. We smoked in Shamara's car, and then we went to Walmart. And Shamara was like, you know what I want so bad? I want the soft, chewy Chips Ahoy cookies, the ones in the red aluminum tin. And I was like, oh, that shit sounds so good. And so we keep smoking and smoking and smoking while we're on our way to Walmart. And while I'm smoking, I'm starting to feel like my mouth is getting dry. And again, I've only done it 2 other times before, so I wasn't aware of like the side effects. I just know that weed makes you feel good. So I'm smoking and I'm feeling all right. It's like nothing too crazy, but I'm noticing that like my mouth is getting dry. Like I'm starting to notice that the saliva in my mouth is starting to evaporate and it's getting real dry up in there.
It's almost kind of like your vagina.
So I'm like, damn, I'm like really thirsty. They're like, don't worry, we're almost at Walmart. You can grab something to drink there. So first thing we do when we get in there, I go to like one of the little refrigerators by the register and I grab a bottle of water. And then we continue to walk to the snack aisle so that we can get Shamara's Chips Ahoy cookies or whatever. I chugged that bottle of water like it was nobody's business. And I finished it and my mouth was still dry. And that's when I knew I was like, okay, this gotta be a side effect because I ain't never felt this in my life. My mouth has never been this dry. So we get back in the car and she opens up the cookies and I grab 2 cookies. Everybody grabs cookies and we're eating. I put that cookie in my mouth. That was the best tasting cookie I've ever had in my life. Mind you, I've had these cookies a million times before, but today, the best cookie I ever had in my life. So I grabbed 2 more, and then I grabbed 2 more after that, and I'm dogging them. By the 3rd cookie, I'm trying to swallow the cookie, and it won't go down because my mouth is so dry. There's no moisture to break the damn cookie down. So I'm there struggling, and I'm trying to like create saliva somehow in my mouth to get this cookie down. And I finally get it down. And I eat the other 2 cookies and I do the same thing. But they were so good I couldn't stop. Now you're probably wondering, oh, they probably just dropped you off at home and you got some water and you probably passed out. No, that's not what happened at all. So I'm in the back seat of the car and I see that there's a gas station to my right and we're at a red light. So I tell them, hey guys, I'm gonna get out here because I gotta get some water. Yeah, guys, go ahead. I'll meet up with you later. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna take the bus home and shower and then I'll meet up with you guys later. Whew. So I go in there, I grab another bottle of water, and I chug that shit down, and I start walking to the fucking bus stop. I get to the bus stop, and I'm like, all right, I'm feeling a little bit better. My mouth feels a little salivated, and I think I can make it home and go the fuck to bed. So I finished chugging the rest of this water, and now my stomach feels so full that I could like whenever the bus moves, I can hear the water inside of me. And it was crazy because I was high. So I was hearing it extra loud in my inside of my body. And it was a weird feeling. So we hit another bump. And for some reason, my stomach turns. And I'm like, this does not feel right. I projectile vomited all over the bus, all over the fucking front of the bus. I was sitting at the front seat of the bus. Projectile vomit all on the front seat of the bus. We pull up to the next stop and I run off. And there's a trash can and I keep throwing up in the trash can. After that, I felt a little bit better, but my mouth was still dry. And then, on top of it being dry, it tasted like throw up. And I didn't have any more water. So I wait for the next bus after I got that all out of me to make sure that that does not happen again because I was so embarrassed. I was so embarrassed. I get on the next bus and I get to my stop and I get off and it's maybe like 4 or 5 blocks from the stop to my house. I'm walking. When I tell you shit was spinning, my vision was zooming in and out, and I was like, what the fuck is going on right now? In my brain, I was thinking like, damn, it's getting real trippy up in here. Like, I need to get the fuck home and get some more water, and I need to lay down. I finally make it home, and I was so paranoid that my aunts were gonna notice that I was high. So like, I was trying to avoid eye contact. I literally came in the door and I went straight upstairs and I locked myself in the bathroom. And I decided, you know what? I'm gonna take a bath and I'm gonna soak in the tub and I'm just gonna let this all go the fuck away. Please go the fuck away. Boom. I get in the tub. I'm chilling, relaxing. I fall asleep. 2 hours later, I wake up because I hear banging on the door. I'm up. I feel better. I'm still in the water. I'm surprised I didn't fucking drown. And I get up. I pat myself down with my towel, wrap my towel around myself, pick up my clothes, and I open the door and I'll be like, sorry, I fell asleep. Make my way up to my room. I get up there, I knock the fuck out. Knock the fuck out. And I miss work the next day because I slept all day. When I woke up the next day, I promised myself I was never gonna smoke weed again. I was never gonna touch the devil's letters ever again. And then, like 2 weeks later, I smoked it again. And this time I was in a chill environment. I wasn't out of work. I wasn't in the heat. I had water available to me. I was chill in a chill vibe. And it was the most euphoric, amazing feeling I ever felt in my life. And I'm like, damn, this is what people be talking about. And from that day forward, every day from the age of 18 to the age of 31, that's 13 years, I smoked weed every day, multiple times a day. I could not live without it. I would wake and bake. I would choose weed over food. I would choose weed over anything, to be honest with you. And that's just how life went. Eventually, I got into the pattern where like weed just became a normal part of my life. So I was able to function. It was still a real important part of my life, but I didn't let it dictate whether I ate or not, whether I slept or not, whether I went to work or not. It was just a thing that became so natural to me that I didn't let it affect my day unless I didn't have it. That's where the issue came in because I became the fucking hawk and nobody could talk to me. Nobody could look at me. It was horrible. We fast forward to 31. I'm now working as a manager in Starbucks, making good money, smoking like nobody's business. I meet one of my customers. He is a transplant in New York from Cali, and he takes trips every other month or two, and somehow he gets weed from Cali to New York. I start buying from him, and this weed is so good. Like, I smoke once and I'm high for a long period of time, and I don't need to. I was saving money because the weed was lasting so long. It was like, it was good. It was amazing. Amazing. So this is when edibles started becoming like more popular right before weed got legalized. They've always been popular, but like people were really getting into like edibles. So he started making edibles from that weed. And I was like, you know what? Sure. Let me get a pack of 10. I was like, do you know like the dose or whatever? Because I heard that there's dosages and shit, and some are stronger than others. And he's like, nah, I just threw a bunch of weed in and made the edibles. So it was an unknown milligram of weed. And of course I took them. Like, I took them. Like, they're gonna get me fucked up. That's what I want. I go home. I'm like, all right, this is my first time taking this edible. Let's do it. I cut the edible now. It was a tiny edible. It was maybe like, it was triangular. I cut it right down the middle. I ate half of it. I'm like, all right, this shit tastes like straight up weed, like I was chewing on a bud. But let's give it 15, 20 minutes and see what happens. 15, 20 minutes go by, 25 minutes go by, 30 minutes go by. I don't feel anything. I'm like, damn, I'd rather fucking smoke. So I smoked. And I was like, damn, I still don't feel the edible. I just feel regular high. So I popped the other half of the edible. That's when I knew I fucked up. Because right when I popped it, 10 minutes later, the first part of the edible started to kick in. And I was like, oh shit, this is different. And I smoked on top of that, so I was already high. When I tell you that I started getting paranoid, I felt like my heart beating out of my chest, literally. Like, if I looked down, I could see my heart pumping. That's how hard the shit was working. And I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna croak. Oh my God, I'm gonna croak. I'm gonna croak because I took an edible from some guy who don't know what the hell he's doing. So I'm like chugging water, trying to get like my body to cool down and to relax and, to just vibe out. And then the other half of the edible kicks in. It kicks into overdrive. And at that point, I can't even concentrate. My heart is beating fast. I had to get dressed and I had to go outside and I had to walk. And I walked for like 30 minutes. And I started to feel a little more calm. And I started to relax and come back into myself. I went back home, and as soon as I got upstairs and laid down, the shit started again. It was like round 2. This shit lasted for like 4 or 5 hours. So I was, at this point, ready to go to the fucking hospital and tell them that I took drugs and that I am dying. But, as somebody from the hood, you don't do that. You either die or you ride it out. So I rode it out. I turned on my video games and I played video games to distract myself. And eventually it wore down. I never did an edible again after that. Mind you, I got 10 of them. I ate one. I threw the rest out. I don't give a fuck if I spent $60 on those fucking edibles. I threw them out. Every day after that, I would smoke and I would get paranoid. And I would feel like my heart beat faster than it was supposed to, or that it normally would. And it was really like uncomfortable. Like, I couldn't concentrate when I smoked. Mind you, my body is so used to me smoking that I smoked every day 4 or 5 times, 6 times, 7 times a day. It's second nature to me, and I'm feeling this way every time I smoke. So I'm like, damn, what the fuck is happening to me? After I took those edibles, I now know what it means. I greened out. And after I took those edibles, I have never been the same when it comes to marijuana or THC ever again, even till this day. Because I still love weed. I love the smell of it. I love the ritual of breaking it down and rolling it up, lighting it, smoking it. The ritual is just, I don't know, there's something about it that I love. So I tried again recently and I was a little bit better, but it was like that paranoid, heart beating fast, heart palpitations happened every other time that I smoked. It wasn't like a good smoke. It was always like a fucked up high. And eventually I was just like, I don't know if this is worth spending money on anymore because I'm not getting the high that I used to get for the first 13 years that I smoked. It don't feel that way no more. It don't feel good. Why would I pay money to not feel good? So I decided at the age of 31 that I was going to quit smoking. I'm 35 now. I haven't smoked in 4 years, minus the 3-4 weeks that I tried to smoke again, and I bought a large amount of weed and I had to go through it because I wasn't going to throw it out. But after that, I kind of just stopped. And I still think about it from time to time. Like, I would love to smoke. I get in my creative bag when I smoke, like writing music, making beats. Anything that I want to do, if I smoke, I could do it. I don't know if that's like a placebo effect or what, but yeah, like, and I still to this day, sometimes I'll be like, damn, I could use a blunt. I'll be so good right now. And then I think about those heart palpitations and I back up and I stray away from it. There's not a day that goes by I don't think about it, but I know that I'm better off without it because At what point do you say enough is enough? I can't live with these heart palpitations. That's basically my first time trying weed and why I stopped. Comment down below what was your experience. How did you feel the first time you smoked weed? Do you still smoke weed? Did you stop? Why did you stop? Tell me. Share it down below. Thank you guys so much for spending time with me today. I really appreciate it. If you're feeling the vibes, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And make sure you hit that bell notification so you know when I post a new video. Because if you love me, why wouldn't you want to know when I post a new video? Exactly. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you in my next video.